Somewhere in Ice Age Europe, a small fire was still burning. A child was dying. There were no doctors to call, no medicine to give, no miracle left to hope for. Yet thousands of years later, archaeologists believe they found evidence of what happened next. Not because anyone wrote it down, but because grief leaves traces in ways most people never imagine. So what was the last thing ancient parents did before their child died? The answer may change how you see the entire history of humanity. It's easy to imagine prehistoric humans as cold survivors who only cared about staying alive. But archaeology tells a very different story. Across ancient caves, forgotten burial sites, and thousands of years of evidence, researchers have uncovered something surprisingly familiar. Not weapons, not hunting tools, love. The truth is, we can never know the exact final words spoken by any prehistoric parent. Those voices disappeared long ago, but the evidence they left behind suggests something far more powerful than words. It suggests that long before civilization, humans were already capable of extraordinary compassion. Childhood was incredibly dangerous in prehistoric life. Disease, infections, accidents, predators, harsh winters, and simple bad luck meant many children never reached adulthood. For ancient parents, loss was not rare. It was one of life's greatest tragedies. Yet evolutionary psychology tells us something remarkable. Human babies are born more helpless than almost any other mammal. They require years of protection, teaching, and care. That long dependency helped shape one of the strongest emotional bonds found anywhere in nature, the bond between parent and child. Love wasn't invented by civilization. It helped civilization become possible. Archaeologists have even discovered prehistoric children buried with beads, animal tooth ornaments, red ochre, and carefully arranged bodies. These objects had value. Gathering them required precious time and energy. A community struggling simply to survive would not waste scarce resources without a reason. These burials suggest that some children were mourned, remembered, and treated with deep respect. But perhaps the biggest mystery isn't how these children were buried. It's what happened before that moment. When hope was fading, what did their parents do? We cannot honestly claim to know every detail of those final hours. Archaeology rarely preserves moments, it preserves traces. But when scientists combine archaeological discoveries with evolutionary psychology and careful studies of hunter-gatherer societies, a picture begins to emerge. Parents likely did what parents have always done. They stayed close. They held their child. They shared body warmth on cold nights. They offered water if they could. They refused to leave, even when there was nothing else they could do. These are informed scientific inferences, not proven historical facts, and that distinction matters. Yet they fit remarkably well with everything we know about human attachment. Our brains are wired to protect those we love, even when the outcome cannot be changed. That instinct has survived tens of thousands of years because family cooperation helped humans survive as a species. Ancient grief may have strengthened communities rather than weakening them. When one family suffered, others often helped care for children, gathered food, or shared the emotional burden. In many hunter-gatherer societies studied by anthropologists, raising a child has never been the responsibility of two parents alone. It has always belonged to the entire group. That spirit of shared care may stretch back far into prehistory, and perhaps that's why grief still feels so overwhelming today. The same emotional systems that once kept helpless children alive continue to shape our lives in modern hospitals, homes, and families. A parent sitting quietly beside a hospital bed today may be expressing an instinct older than agriculture, older than cities, older than history itself. The world has changed beyond recognition. Our technology has transformed almost every part of life. But one thing appears to have endured. The evidence suggests that when ancient parents realized they could no longer save their child, they didn't become less human. They became more human. They stayed. They comforted. They remembered. Archaeology may never reveal the last words spoken around an Ice Age campfire, but it does reveal something even more profound. Compassion did not begin with civilization. It was already burning beside those ancient fires, carried in the hearts of parents whose greatest act of love may simply have been refusing to leave their child's side until the very end. And perhaps that quiet act of staying close is one of the oldest stories humanity has ever told.